everyone, Miss Bowler and Anakin here, ready for part 2 of our story. So if you remember yesterday, we left it at the part where Claude was just deciding what adventure to go on with Mr. Bobbly Sock. So shall we find out a bit more? Part 1. One morning, Claude put on his beret and decided to go to the city. "I think I will go to the city," he said. And he did. Sir Bobbly Sock came too, as he didn't have anything else planned that day. Claude had never been to the city before. He couldn't believe how tall all the buildings were. They stretched right up into the air, and some of them disappeared into the clouds. Sir Bobbly Sock was glad that it wasn't him who had to clean all the windows. The city was big and bright and very, very busy. There was so much to do. First, Claude and Sir Bobbly Sock went for a walk. They walked down one long road and up another. Everybody seemed friendly. Cars peeped their horns and some drivers shouted out to them, but it was too noisy for Claude to hear what they were saying. Sir Bobbly Sock was slightly deaf in one ear, so he was no help at all. Next, they went to look at the pigeons. There were lots of pigeons in the city. Claude looked at them very closely and from every angle. He looked secretly, shyly, and as if he was trying not to look at them at all. Claude decided that he liked the pigeons very much indeed. By 11 o'clock, Claude was feeling a little bit thirsty, so he went to a fancy cafe with Sir Bobbly Sock. Claude ordered a large hot chocolate with marshmallows and a straw. Sir Bobbly Sock ordered a big fruity cocktail which looked more like a plant pot. Claude's drink was delicious and he drank every drop. Sir Bobbly Sock wasn't sure where to start. Now it was time to go shopping. Claude was amazed that there were so many different sorts of shops. There were shoe shops, loo shops, chip shops, chop shops, which were really butcher's shops. And there were even shops selling the most curious contraptions Claude had ever seen. Then Sir Bobbly Sock discovered the best shop in the world. Ever. Claude hurried inside and bought a beret in every colour and every pattern. That was an awful lot of berets. As they were setting off to find some lunch, Claude spotted a very interesting building. It had lots of steps, some big pillars at the front, and it was exactly the same colour as Juicy Bones. Juicy Bones happened to be Claude's favourite things after Sir Bobbly Sock and his beret. So Claude and Sir Bobbly Sock went inside. A helpful person was sitting behind a big desk told them the building was an art gallery. "Here is a guide," she said helpfully, and handed Claude a guidebook. "It tells you what is in each room." Claude said "thank you," left his boxes with her and set off with Sir Bobbly Sock. He really liked looking at things and wanted to start straight away. The first room Claude and Sir Bobbly Sock went into was full of sculptures. Claude discovered sculptures were bits of art that weren't in frames and you could walk around but absolutely not touch at all. Claude was very interested. Some sculptures were enormous, titchy, and very rude indeed. Claude looked at his guidebook. It said, "Go into the next room." So he did. On the walls were lots of pictures in swirly frames. Claude and Sir Bobbly Sock sat down on a handy bench and looked at them. Some of the paintings showed people standing around and pointing at things that weren't there. Claude thought this was a little bit silly. Some of the paintings had dogs in them, which made Claude happy, but none of them were wearing a beret. "Let's go and have some lunch," said Claude to Sir Bobbly Sock. "I could just eat a juicy bone baguette." Claude collected his boxes of berets and they set off to find a cafe. And tomorrow we're going to read the next part of the story. So thank you for watching. I hope you're all okay, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!